You were taught that keeping your word makes you strong. Yet every time you do, someone gains leverage over you. You stay loyal, others stay flexible, and you lose. Today, we solve one dangerous mistake: why blind honor quietly destroys power. From childhood, you were trained to believe that your word defines your worth. That once spoken, a promise must be kept, no matter the cost. But look closely at the world around you. The most powerful figures are not bound by promises, they are bound by advantage. Honor, as you were taught, was never designed to protect you. It was designed to control you. This is not a lesson about lying recklessly. This is about survival in a world that punishes rigidity and rewards adaptability. Listen carefully, because this truth separates rulers from servants. Never keep your word blindly, not because honesty is weak, but because unconditional honesty is suicidal. The moment you lock yourself into a promise, you surrender freedom, you eliminate options, and power lives in options. Those who demand your loyalty often reserve the right to change their minds. They call it circumstances. When you do the same, they call it betrayal. Understand this clearly: the world respects strength first, and morals only when they are convenient. A promise made today may destroy you tomorrow, and no principle is worth your downfall. Rigid men are easy to predict, easy to trap, easy to exploit. Flexible men confuse their enemies, and confusion is protection. You must appear dependable, not be imprisoned by dependability. You must signal honor, not worship it. The mistake is not breaking your word. The mistake is breaking it clumsily. Never announce change, never explain weakness, never apologize for survival. Instead, let circumstances shift. Let priorities evolve. Let silence do the work. People forgive broken promises when power still stands behind you. They only condemn the powerless. Remember this: those who lecture you about honor usually benefit from your obedience. Your word is a weapon, not a vow carved in stone. Use it when it strengthens you. Withdraw it when it endangers you. Appear constant, remain adaptable, and never allow a sentence spoken in the past to rule your future. Because in the end, history does not remember who kept their word, it remembers who won. Honor was never meant to be a sacred commandment carved into stone. It was meant to be used. Somewhere along the way, you were taught to treat it as an absolute rule, something that defines your moral worth regardless of consequence. That belief sounds noble, but in practice it is dangerous. When honor becomes a law you must obey at all costs, it stops serving you and starts ruling you, and anything that rules you can be used against you. In the real world, honor functions like currency. Its value rises and falls depending on context, timing, and perception. Used wisely, it opens doors, builds trust, and disarms suspicion. Used blindly, it turns into a chain that binds your hands while others move freely. The mistake most people make is assuming that honor has intrinsic value on its own. It does not. Its value comes entirely from how it strengthens or weakens your position. Power does not ask whether you kept your word. Power asks whether you survived, whether you advanced, whether you controlled the situation. A promise that leads you into loss is not virtuous, it is foolish. Yet society praises the man who keeps his word even as he is destroyed by it. That praise is cheap. It costs nothing to admire someone else's sacrifice when you benefit from it. When you declare your honor to be unbreakable, you announce something far more important to the world: predictability. You tell others exactly how far they can push you, exactly what you will tolerate, exactly what you will refuse to do. This makes you easy to manage, easy to pressure, easy to corner. The moment your word becomes law, it stops being a choice, and without choice there is no power. Those who understand honor properly treat it as a strategic instrument. They know when to display it loudly and when to place it quietly back into its sheath. They know that appearing honorable is often more useful than being rigidly so. Reputation is built on consistency of image, not consistency of behavior. Most people never notice the difference, and those who do are usually too busy protecting their own interest to expose yours. Blind honor assumes the world is fair. It assumes that others will respect your sacrifices and respond in kind. Reality does not work that way. People adapt their morality to their advantage. They praise honor when it keeps you compliant and criticize flexibility when it threatens their control over you. This is why those who preach honor the loudest are often the first to abandon it when circumstances change. Honor, when treated as a tool, becomes flexible. It bends without breaking. It allows you to adjust without collapsing your identity. You are not dishonest because you adapt. You are intelligent. You are not immoral because you reassess a promise you are aware. The true danger lies not in breaking your word, but in surrendering your future to words spoken in a moment that no longer exists. A promise is made with limited information, limited foresight, and limited power. To treat it as eternal is to deny reality. Conditions shift, people reveal new intentions, threats emerge, opportunities disappear. If you refuse to adapt because of honor, you are choosing the comfort of moral certainty over the responsibility of control. The world does not reward those who martyr themselves to principles. It rewards those who know when principles serve them and when they must be reshaped. Honor should protect your leverage, not erase it. It should strengthen your hand, not force you to play a losing move simply to prove consistency. Those who rise understand a subtle truth: honor is most effective when it is selective. When you honor commitments that benefit you, people label you trustworthy. When you withdraw from commitments that harm you, people may complain, but they adjust. Complaints fade, power remains, and power has a way of rewriting narratives. What was once called betrayal quietly becomes reframed as necessity, strategy, or inevitability. The greatest illusion about honor is that it defines who you are. It does not. Outcomes define who you are. Position defines who you are. Control defines who you are. Honor is merely one of many masks you wear to move through the world efficiently. If your honor can be demanded, it can be exploited. If it cannot bend, it can be used to break you. The disciplined mind understands that values exist to serve survival and dominance, not the other way around. When honor ceases to serve you, it must be reshaped, concealed, or temporarily abandoned without hesitation. A man ruled by honor is easy to command. A man who commands honor decides when it speaks and when it stays silent. People claim they value loyalty, truth, and integrity, but their behavior tells a different story. What they truly respect is success. Victory silences moral debate. Failure invites moral judgment. This is the uncomfortable reality most refuse to admit. Promises are praised only when they lead to favorable outcomes. When they do not, the same people who applauded your honor will quietly distance themselves from you. A promise is invisible. An outcome is undeniable. No one builds statues for intentions. They are built for results. You can explain your loyalty, your effort, your sincerity, but explanations are weak currency. The world responds to what you deliver, not what you intended to deliver. This is why men who succeed despite questionable methods are admired, while men who fail with clean hands are forgotten. When you make a promise, you believe you are building trust. In reality, you are often only building expectation. Expectation is fragile. The moment it is not fulfilled, it turns into resentment. Outcomes, however, create closure. People may question how you achieved them, but they cannot deny their existence. This is why power gravitates toward those who prioritize effectiveness over verbal commitments. Look closely at how respect actually forms. It does not emerge from consistency of speech, but from consistency of impact. A man who repeatedly produces results is forgiven for his broken words. A man who produces nothing is condemned even when he keeps every promise. This is not hypocrisy, it is hierarchy. Respect flows upward towards strength and usefulness. Those who cling to promises often do so because they believe words protect them. They think saying, "I gave my word," will shield them from criticism. It does not. When circumstances shift and results are demanded, words collapse, excuses collapse. Only outcomes stand firm. The world is impatient with those who hide behind principle while delivering weakness. Promises also create a dangerous illusion of moral credit. You begin to believe that because you committed, you are owed patience, understanding, or loyalty in return. That belief is false. Moral credit expires the moment it stops benefiting others. People do not maintain loyalty out of gratitude. They maintain it out of advantage. This is why broken promises are often forgiven when power remains intact. A leader who changes direction but preserves dominance is labeled decisive. A man who breaks his word yet wins is called strategic. The same act, performed from weakness, is labeled treachery. Meaning is assigned after the outcome, not before. Respect is not a reward for virtue. It is a response to effectiveness. This is why outcomes must always come first. Once you secure the result, you gain control over the narrative. You can justify, explain, or remain silent. When you fail, no explanation matters. Your promises become evidence used against you. Men who understand this do not become reckless liars. They become disciplined calculators. They speak carefully, commit selectively, and prioritize flexibility over verbal loyalty. They know that every promise reduces maneuverability. Every commitment narrows future options. And fewer options mean less power. Promises also create emotional leverage for others. Once you give your word, it can be used to guilt you, shame you, or corner you. You are reminded of who you said you were, not who you need to be now. This is psychological control disguised as morality. Those who rely on promises to bind others often lack real leverage themselves. Outcomes break this control. When you consistently deliver results, you reverse the dynamic. People stop demanding promises and start waiting for moves. They adjust their expectations to your behavior, not your words. You become harder to manipulate because you are no longer negotiating your identity through speech. The obsession with promises is common among those with little power. They cling to words because words are all they have. Those with influence do not need to declare their reliability. It is assumed because of their track record. Their past outcomes speak louder than any oath. This is why restraint in speech is critical. The less you promise, the less you owe. The less you owe, the freer you move. Freedom of movement is the foundation of dominance. You can adapt, retreat, advance, or strike without being accused of betrayal because you never anchored yourself to rigid declarations. In the end, people do not ask whether you kept your word. They ask whether following you benefits them. If it does, your past promises become irrelevant. If it does not, even your honesty becomes meaningless. Respect follows utility, and utility follows results, always moving toward those who understand that words are light, but outcomes are heavy. Predictability is comfort for the knave, but danger for anyone who wishes to maintain control. When you never break your word, you are not seen as virtuous first, you are seen as readable. Your behavior becomes a pattern others can map. Your reactions become calculable. And once a man can be calculated, he can be managed. The world does not exploit chaos as easily as it exploits routine. Routine creates expectations, and expectations create leverage. When others know that your word is absolute, they stop negotiating with you and start positioning around you. They plan their moves knowing exactly how you will respond. In their minds, you are no longer an actor in the game. You are a fixed rule within it. Predictability removes fear, and fear is one of the greatest deterrents against manipulation. When people cannot anticipate your decisions, they proceed carefully. They hesitate. They test boundaries. But when they are certain you will honor your commitments regardless of cost, hesitation disappears. Certainty emboldens exploitation. Men who pride themselves on never breaking their word often mistake consistency for strength. In reality, consistency without discretion is rigidity. Rigidity does not bend under pressure, it snaps. Those who cannot change direction become prisoners of circumstances shaped by others. They follow paths chosen not by strategy, but by past statements they are too proud to revise. Every promise you keep, regardless of consequence, teaches others how to control you. It tells them what pressures work, what moral language restrains you, what standards you refuse to violate. Over time, this knowledge becomes a playbook. You are no longer dealing with individuals reacting in real time, but with strategists who have studied your patterns. Unpredictability is not randomness. It is selective ambiguity. It is the art of never allowing others to fully understand where your limits truly are. When you occasionally revise commitments, delay responses, or change direction, you disrupt expectations. You introduce doubt. Doubt forces others to stay alert, and alert opponents make fewer aggressive moves. The fear of being labeled untrustworthy keeps many men locked into predictable behavior. They believe reputation is built on unbroken consistency, but reputation is built on perceived strength. A man who adjusts and still prevails is not seen as weak, he is seen as formidable. The label of untrustworthiness only sticks when it is paired with loss. Predictable men are easy to test. Once tested, they are easy to trap. If someone knows you will always choose honor over advantage, they will design situations where honor costs you dearly. They will frame traps as moral choices, forcing you to sacrifice position in order to remain true to yourself. In these moments, your virtue becomes their weapon. Flexibility disrupts this dynamic. When others cannot be certain how you will respond, they must account for risk. Risk slows aggression. Risk creates hesitation. And hesitation gives you time, space, and leverage. Control is rarely about force. It is about shaping the environment so others restrain themselves. Those who never break their word also lose the power of silence. They feel compelled to explain, to reassure, to clarify. Explanations expose intention. Intention exposes strategy, and exposed strategy invites interference. The unpredictable man speaks less, commits less, and reveals less. His silence becomes part of his power. Predictability also locks you into past versions of yourself. You grow. Circumstances evolve, information changes, yet you remain bound to decisions made with outdated understanding. This is not integrity, it is stagnation. Growth requires revision. Strategy requires reassessment. Refusing to adapt is not loyalty to values, but fear of criticism. People claim they want certainty, but they respect mystery. Certainty comforts them, mystery restrains them. When you are fully understood, you are easily approached. When you are partially understood, you are treated with caution. Caution is respect disguised as uncertainty. Unpredictability does not mean chaos. It means control over when and how expectations are set. You choose when to be reliable and when to be distant. You decide which promises matter and which can dissolve quietly. This selective reliability keeps others dependent on observation rather than assumption. Those who survive in competitive environments learn that stability is not created by rigid behavior, but by adaptive dominance. You remain stable because others adjust to you, not because you refuse to move. The moment others must react to your unpredictability, you regain initiative. A man who never breaks his word gives away the future in advance. A man who preserves ambiguity keeps the future open. And in a world driven by shifting power, open futures belong to those who understand that being unreadable is safer than being admired for consistency. This is not a call to become careless with truth or reckless with words. It is a warning against surrendering control to ideas that sound noble but function as restraints. Honor, promises, and consistency are not virtues on their own, they are instruments. When used with awareness, they protect position. When followed blindly, they erase it. The world you move through is not governed by intention, but by advantage. Those who thrive understand this quietly. They commit sparingly, speak cautiously, and adapt without apology. They do not announce their flexibility, nor do they confess it. They allow others to believe in their steadiness, while they preserve freedom beneath the surface. Power is maintained not by moral rigidity, but by strategic clarity. You decide when your word binds you and when it must dissolve. You choose when to appear constant and when to remain unreadable. You protect outcomes first, because outcomes grant you the authority to define meaning afterward. Once you understand this, you stop being ruled by past statements, emotional pressure, or imposed expectations. You move forward with options intact. You stop being predictable. You stop being cornered by your own declarations, and you begin to operate where respect follows strength, where perception bends to results, and where control belongs to those who know when to speak, when to promise, and when to remain silent.